see our crew, like I was saying before, like we grew up and we called ourselves Authentic. Like that was kind of our group name, our call tag. And I wanted to get what authentic means to y'all.
I think it's easy to be fake, but it's harder to be real. I think authentic, boils down to being real, being who you're called to be who you're supposed to be. I think was
I like that part where you said like it's easy to be like it's easy to counterfeit. Like that's what the world is going with, like just going with what everybody else is doing. But
it's more popular to do that too. I feel like
it's more popular.
And that's why I feel like this album is pretty timely, because like in this time you see that a lot. Like right now it's like it's easy to go that way. You get rewarded for going that way.
Yeah.
The road we're on, like it's a marathon, and you can go the longer way, but it's a journey. It's like the reward is in that journey and going the longer way, and God's trusting God. And I said this before too. It's like you can shoot up real fast, but then what's holding you? Like what's sustaining you when you're there? Like what I'm saying?
I feel like that's not even the goal too. I feel like the goal is as simple as getting people the gospel message. So I feel like if you go back to that, it makes everything more simple, and you will find yourself not chasing like the numbers and stuff, because that's like the numbers and stuff are always aren't going to be tied to preaching the gospel message. Like you're not going to be the most popular and stuff. And so I feel like if you stay with that, then you won't even be worried about like all that extra stuff.
Keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah, literally.
It's hard to do.
Kind of like piggybacking off what Daniel just said. Like the numbers thing. Like the numbers thing only matters like you're worried about numbers like from the world.
Yeah.
But it's like, why are you worried about what the world thinks? Like why are you worried about like if the world loves what you do? Because most often they're not going to, and they're not going to get with what you're doing. So it's like understanding that and then continuing to go forward and say what you believe to be authentic is more important than anything you could do to appeal to the world. I mean,
I think people like cling to like authenticity. Make any sense? But like we don't know
like
though, because
it's attractive.
Yeah, it's attractive, but it's not like it's not popular, which is why it's like.
Which is crazy how
they won't say it.
Yeah.
That's part of I feel like that's what authentic is to me. A lot is being an example of real what authenticity really is. Because it's easy to be, like you said earlier, to be counterfeit. And it takes some time when you're walking with God and to really know who you are in God and like where He has you.
Yeah. Amen.
But then once you get there, it's like, I gotta be an example. This is authentic. Like we're authentic. Like this is really God.
They don't know who they are, to be honest. And so you want to lead them to the person that's gonna show them who they are, which is Jesus, obviously. And so I feel like that's why it's important to get the gospel message, because that's gonna show people how to be authentic to who they are. Because they're like lost and people are trying to find out who they are. That's why I see so much confusion.
People like go to the world to find out who they are, and then they end up even more lost. And like humans, like always, like we overcomplicate things and all that. But like the word is so simple, and it tells you exactly what to do. Right? It tells you exactly who to be.
That's why this album is such a bold statement too.
Exactly.
You gotta be bold and like just saying the truth, because obviously now people are. You're talking about it in the album like it's offensive, like you don't care about being offensive. Like it's going to be offensive to people like now, because they're trying to do what they want to do. And so this is going to tell them that you're wrong. Basically, that's what it's telling you. Like you're wrong. And you need Jesus. We all need Jesus. We're all wrong, but we need Jesus.
It's like a refresher.
Yeah.
It
should be refreshing to people though. That's why I feel like it's going to bless. That's why I said that earlier. It's going to bless some people.
One thing I was talking to Ann about, like the album and the concept, and one thing he really started to stir up in me was like grace, and just how like I feel like a lot of times they'll talk about like authentic Christianity and being like living for Christ and living right, but it's like it's understanding that without God's grace I'm about to be living foul. Like I need God. Yeah, but like a lot of times like we'll get too prideful and thinking that like, oh, I'm just this high esteemed, like I'm an authentic Christian, but it's like, nah, bro, if it weren't for God's grace, I wouldn't be doing none of this.
Yeah.
Like,
dust.
Yeah. I'm grind, bro. If it weren't for God's grace. And so, like with this album, I tried to make that, and I talk a lot about grace, like throughout it. And I feel like another key thing that I talk about was surrender too, because like that's a key to, like an authentic Christianity, it's a surrender, bro. Like you gotta be a slave to righteousness, you gotta be a slave to God's will, like that's just what it is.
I feel like that's probably the hardest thing about being authentic is like just giving up, like surrendering. That's like the hardest part.
Yeah, man, it is. But it's the most boring part.
Yeah.
Because once you surrender, that other stuff gonna fall into place. And a lot of times we'll be thinking about like we'll have all these hard decisions and stuff, and we'll have this stuff we're trying to figure out. But it's like just surrender, bro. Like when you just go back to the basics, and I like what you guys said too, where you were saying like, what you love about the album is I'm talking about like basic Christianity principles. Like it's not some like deep circumstances or deep message. Nah, bro. Love Christ, love truth, bro. Like, like surrender, lead me, Lord. Like
It'll get more simple than that.
And I didn't think about it. Like I wasn't intentionally trying to do that, but like for me, when praying about the album, I just was thinking about like what authentic Christianity is and what just like and just my life and just like things that I don't know, and that's just the basics, bro. Like that's authentic. Just do the basics, bro. But yeah, that really
respect the real too. Like even if they don't always like agree with it, like people will respect like, oh, like he can stand 10 toes down on his faith, like he's not gonna waver. Like they respect that.
Even people in the world.
Yeah, like I know people who are like, bro, I think what you're doing is like kind of crazy, but I respect that you're like,
kind of crazy. I would do it.
That's the thing. You don't look crazy to people. Like they gonna be like, bro, you wild. Like it don't take all that, but it's like, no, it does. But they also respect, like, man, you're willing to stand 10 toes. You're willing to take the persecution, all that comes with it, and like you're not gonna waver, or you're not gonna fold. Just you're being pressured or persecuted. So,
amen. And that's a mystery to people too, because they'll see that and they're like, bro, like he's sliding crazy for Jesus. Who is this? like who is this Jesus guy he's talking about? Like they give
can't be that good, bro.
He can't be that good, bro.
Talking about the same guy.
But that makes people think that like we're like how you said we're like, oh, I'm an authentic Christian and I'm like on a higher like playing field or like a pedestal than other people.
Like
but like but like we're just like regular bros. And it's like that's what's like that's what makes it even more powerful. That like the people who are looking at it can do and like act the same way we are, and they can live this exact same. Exactly. Yep. So the fact that we're all like late teenagers, like early 20s, like, and we're living like this and living this day to day, just as like, I mean, that's just really powerful. That's just
it's only God.
And it'll touch. I feel like that'll touch all age groups. Seeing like older people seeing it, and then even the younger guys, which look up to us. I feel like it's important.
The music is a reflection of like your walk. Or how you are behind the scenes.
No, but that's real though. Music really is a reflection of your
your heart posture,
integrity, like behind closed doors. And then when you're like on the stage.
Yeah, like this isn't a character.
This is literally NK4.
Yeah,
this is the flesh.
And it flows. It flows, bro. He's not striving. So you don't gotta like strive for lyrics. It's just flowing out of his spirit.
Yeah.
He prays.
That's real though. Some people like they get off that stage, they turn off the mic, and then they're like, finally. And then
Thank you, Lord.
Take off the bad. Take off the shiesty.
But yeah, that's hard because that's just a lot of work. I feel like living two lives that you. I don't know. Bouncing back and forth. Like,
both.
Being real and authentic is hard, but like my dad, he always tells me like you got to pick your heart. You're gonna live in the world, be fake, or like just kind of put on a persona. You're gonna be authentic, who Christ wants you to be. Like they're both hard, but like one's harder than the other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's true. You're picking a hard road either way.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
But I'd rather choose hard with God. It's grace.
You got grace with it. In the world, you ain't got no grace, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta figure it out on your own.
And then you 40 or 50, and then you finally figured it out, and you're like, oh man,
Wasted all this time.
Wasted all my time.
Doing nothing.
At least you figured it out, but dang, that's tough. You knew when you were 20, so it's like, that's tough.
Yeah, it's crazy too. Like, I feel like a lot of people, I like what you said, Scree, about like how people can see, like it's obtainable by anybody, you know? Like it's not some like crazy, like anybody can live righteous just by God's grace. But I was thinking like, they made me lose my train of thought, bro. I'm out there.
Over there screaming.
Yeah, I'm about to close it. I feel like a lot of people our age, like, they have to go the long route. Like, they're not walking it. Like, there's not a lot of people our age, like, really walking it, I feel like. Yeah. Because, you're at this age, you're younger, 20s, and I'm trying to figure things out. And you're
trying to play both sides.
Yeah.
It won't work.
I'm trying to find myself. I'm trying to...
Especially when they go to college.
Yeah.
They've told people, like, you'll figure out who you are when you go to college. And
you could lose who you are when you go to college, bro.
Yeah.
That's just a whole. Yeah, you got to rebuild your whole foundation.
You gotta break, yeah.
And you gotta take the long road route. You gotta whole bunch of heartache, whole bunch of now you come back and you get the same. But we see it though, like.
Yeah, but now you got all this baggage, all this weight, all this sin that you have to like shuffle through, and it's like God never wanted you to go through any of that. You could have avoided all the pain, all the hurt by just staying authentic, staying real, staying to the truth. Even though it's like it's gonna be hard, but like we said earlier, you gotta pick your heart.
And you can still have fun. I feel like.
That's
what I'm doing it.
Like,
people don't understand that.
What do you do?
Yeah.
You don't drink no liquor.
That's
like,
not
bro.
fun. Like
You see what we just did? This was fun, bro.
Yeah, this was fun. Like we can go out to eat, laugh, listen to music, like dance around. Like we got fun. But just without the drugs and all that stuff.
I just don't need to lose myself. In cognac.
Not remember drunk or smoke to have fun, bro.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah, I feel like this is what
the joy, it comes from within yourself. Like, I feel like we be trying to find it in, like you guys are naming all things that are outside of you, like. But it's like when you got that joy within, we could just be sitting out the car, like just literally for hours, bro, just cabbing and talking.
Sitting outside the church.
Literally, and just having fun. Like the joy just comes from within, bro. And like Tahi said, like it's attractive to people. Like people see that and they're like, what is that?
Yeah.
But this album really blessed me too. I'll be thinking about like how it all came about with like me making the song Authentic. Like when I made that, I made it as like our theme song. Like that's just how I made it. And so like for me, for that to be the song that, and like when I made it too, it wasn't like I was like, oh, this is gonna be our theme song. I need to put extra time into this. Nah, bro. Like it just kind of flowed. Like I just kind of did it. Like, and I didn't really think much of it. But then for that to be the song that people gravitated towards, like, I don't know, like, it's just God. Like, for me to be in a position now where I'm like, bruh, I should drop an album called Authentic. Like, I don't know, I wasn't thinking that far ahead, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't think it would come to that when I made that song. But, it's just God, bruh. It's just God, bro. I'm excited, man.
Amen.
All right, we good, brother. We good.